Here we go.
Yes, live stream. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prashyat Deshtarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahans Parikacharya Astotar Saraswati Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अस्तोत्र श्री वेंकटेश भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवाश आदि गौर भक्त की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोधाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नदी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मई जमुना मई की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Thank you so much, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hari Bol.
Jai. And welcome to everyone for a Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami and friends. Today it will be an and friends episode because Maharaj is traveling, and according to Radhesha Prabhu, he will not be able to tune in, let's say. So we're happy that everyone is here. And
Where is going?
I didn't get that much information from him, so I'm not able to say.
Mhm.
Somewhere other than Hawaii, I think.
Oh, okay. Probably on this side, right?
We don't know for sure. Happy to see Haridas Prabhu again after a long time. Hare Krishna. Jai. So tonight we're also starting a new chapter, Bhagavatam 3rd Canto, chapter 33, the activities of Kapila, or in the version of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the departure of Kapila, one or the other. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Bhagavatam 3:33, text number 1. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Nishamya Kipilasya Vachodanitri Sakadamasya Dayita Kila Devahuti Visrastamoha Patalatamabhi Pranamya Tushtava Tattva Vishayankita Siddha Bhumim. Sri Maitreya said, thus Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila and wife of Kardama Muni, became freed from all ignorance concerning devotional service and transcendental knowledge. She offered her obeisances unto the Lord, the author of the basic principles of the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is the background of liberation, and she satisfied him with the following verses of prayer. The system of philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila before his mother is the background for situation on the spiritual platform. The specific significance of this system of philosophy is stated herein as Siddhi Bhumim. It is the background of salvation. People who are suffering in this material world because they are conditioned by the material energy can easily get freedom from the clutches of matter by understanding the Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Lord Kapila. By this system of philosophy, one can immediately become free, even though one is situated in this material world. That stage is called Jivan Mukti. This means that one is liberated even though one stays with his material body. That happened for Devahuti, the mother of Lord Kapila, and she therefore satisfied the Lord by offering her prayers. Anyone who understands the basic principle of Sankhya philosophy is elevated in devotional service and becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated even within this material world. Om Jnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prabhupada picks out this word Siddhi Bhumim. He says it's the background for liberation. I just wanted to look and see. Yes, the background of liberation. So he says this is required. It's the basis of all of our advancement, really, understanding this philosophy. And he says just by understanding the philosophy, you can become immediately free by the system of philosophy, not just any system of philosophy. There are several of them, but by this system, either enunciated by the Lord or his authorized representative, giving the full picture of what transcendence is. That system can make you liberated even within the material world. Other systems, not so much. Good luck with other systems of philosophy. Those of us who have studied some philosophy in college maybe walked away with a less than liberated viewpoint on life. But this, all this instruction that we're getting here from Lord Kapila Dev, of course, is very similar to what Krishna gives Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, especially the second chapter, distilling out the soul from the body, understanding the very distinct entities there. And really, without that clear understanding, it's very hard to make progress. The philosophy will not make sense at a certain point if that much isn't at least understood, even theoretically. Here it says, just by hearing the philosophy, one can become free, which is true, because this is pure knowledge, and the soul is originally pure, and the Supreme Soul is the ultimate pure. So if the Supreme Soul, or his representative, gives you that knowledge, then you know, then you too become pure. So also the knowledge has to be received in the right frame of mind. You can't just hear it like some of us might have used to hear things that passed for knowledge in school, sitting at our desks in classrooms and think, why do I have to listen to this guy? That's not the way that you really reap the benefits of hearing the knowledge. As we'll hear in subsequent verses in this chapter, Devahuti hears, and as she has heard all along, in the very right way, meaning prayerfully. The knowledge is a gift from the Lord to us, comes in so many ways, through the Vedas, through his disciplic successions, through the devotees. And we should be extremely grateful for this knowledge, because it is liberating us from this material existence. It's not ordinary knowledge. It's not knowledge that you can accept or not accept. You either accept this knowledge and become liberated, or you don't, and then good luck. Good luck. There are so many species of life you may find yourself in. But I thought I'd pause here to see if we have comments and or questions. So many devotees are here tonight, and we'd love to hear from them, especially because Maharaj is not with us this evening. Hare Krishna. Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, anything to add?
Yes, this Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Kapil Dev, son of Devahuti, is labeled differently. Is says Sankhya philosophy, but actually it's the same thing as Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga and Sankhya philosophy, both are same, which takes you back home if you practice back to Krishna. Kapil Dev. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Haridas Prabhu, anything to add on these points? Love to hear from you if you're willing to participate tonight.
Well, I don't have anything to say at this time, but I will if I can.
Jai, thank you. It's good to hear your voice. Hare Krishna.
Likewise.
Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, would you like to continue?
Yeah, sure. Text number 2.
Yeah.
Devhuti uvacha athapya ajo natha salile shayanam bhutendriyatmatma yam vapuste guna pravaham sad shesha bijam the dyo khayam yajjatha ra jatah. Dehuti said, Brahma is said to be unborn because he takes birth from the lotus flower which grows from your abdomen while you lie in the ocean at the bottom of the universe. But even Brahma simply meditated upon you, whose body is a source of unlimited universes. Purport. Brahma is also named Aja, he who is unborn. Whenever we think of someone's birth, there must be a material father and mother, for thus one is born. But Brahma, being the first living creature within this universe, was born directly from the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the Vishnu form lying down in the ocean at the bottom of the universe. Devuti wanted to impress upon the Lord that when Brahma wants to see him, he has to meditate upon him. You are the seed of all creation, she said. Although Brahma was directly born from you, he still has to perform many years of meditation. And even then, he cannot see you directly, face to face. Your body is lying within the vast water at the bottom of the universe, and thus you are known as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. The nature of the Lord's gigantic body is also explained in this verse. That body is transcendental, untouched by matter. Since the material manifestation has come from his body therefore existed before the material creation. The conclusion is that the transcendental body of Vishnu is not made of material elements. The body of Vishnu is the source of all living entities, as well as the material nature, which is also supposed to be the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dehuti said, you are the background of the material manifestation and all created energy. Therefore, you are delivering me from the clutches of Maya by experiencing the system of, by explaining the system of Sankhya philosophy is not so astonishing. But your being born from my abdomen is certainly wonderful, because although you are the source of all creation, you have so kindly taken birth as my child. That is most wonderful. Your body is the source of all the universe, and still you put your body within the abdomen of a common woman like me. To me, this is most astonishing. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumritim Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So Dehuti is very much obliged and she expresses her what do you say, her feelings or her appreciation to Kapil Dev. Now there are three types of Vishnu expansions. First is Mahavishnu or Karanodakshaya Vishnu, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So from Mahavishnu, who is lying, here they're talking about Mahavishnu, lying on the bottom of the universe, on top of the Karana ocean, just lying, relaxing. And Lakshmi Devi is massaging his feet. We see the picture, you saw the picture there. And also so many universes coming out from his pores and from his breathing. And that's Mahavishnu. Then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from his navel, it sprouts the like a big flower and big stem flower, and from there, on the top of the flower, Lord Brahma appears on the top of the lotus flower. Now, when I say big stem, that stem consists of 14 planetary systems. You can imagine how big that stem would be. So that's Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he enters into each and every universe as a Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and also in everybody's heart, and also within the matter. This is all inconceivable. But one who knows these three types of incarnation, was all Mahapurush, it's very important that we should know all these things. And by knowing this thing, you advance in Bhakti Yoga. And Devahuti is appreciating that this wonderful personality, which holds all the universes, took a birth from her womb. And she said, to me, that is most astonishing. Same thing happened to Jashoda Mai and Vasudeva and Devaki. Vasudeva and Devaki. Krishna came, become their child. And but that Krishna was a direct expansion of himself. Over here, this is an expansion of Krishna, Vishnu form. Lord Kapil Dev, yes. All right, anything else? Let's see. The conclusion is that transcendental body of the Vishnu is not made of material elements. Very important. We are Jiva soul, and we also have a spark soul, which is also spiritual. Similarly, Lord Vishnu also has a spiritual body and is not made of material elements. All right. So here she's really appreciating that he took a birth from her womb. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai Jai. Thank you so much, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Hare Krishna. If it's all right, I wanted to also read the commentary of Srila Vishwanath on this verse, because
Yeah, please.
you can see that Prabhupada drew very heavily from his purport, especially even in the style that he writes it. Prabhupada, he says, Devahuti says, and then he gives a quotation of a long stream of things that she doesn't specifically say in the verse, but this is Srila Vishwanath's commentary. It is not astonishing that you teach me and deliver me from samsara. However, what is most astonishing is that you, the Supreme Lord of unlimited universes, took birth from me, a low human being. So then it's the end of that quote. And then she begins to speak, introducing the subject with the word ata. Brahma could only meditate upon your form as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Garbhodakashayi, lying in the water within the universe. He did not see you at first. Your elements, senses, and sense objects are all made of your own Maya. This means that your body is knowledge and bliss, not material. You distinctly manifest qualities such as affection for your devotees, guna pravaham. You are the cause of all universes, satashesha bijam. It's interesting if you look to see what Srila Vishwanath did here. This guna pravaham, he takes it that the Lord distinctly manifests qualities such as affection for your devotees. That's how he understands guna pravaham. And we get a different angle on it from the way that it appears in our list of synonyms. Guna pravaham, Prabhupada translates here as the source of the stream of the three modes of material nature. And of course, both are true. Both are very much true. But Srila Vishwanath always has some slightly different angle of vision, which is always so charming to see. I wanted to go back just a moment, if it's okay, because there was a question that came in just before you started reading, Prabhu, from Pritipurna Madhavi Mataji. She was asking, let me have to go back here, because we were talking about Sankhya philosophy. She says, in summary, what are the basic principles of Sankhya philosophy? So in a moment, I looked up a place where Prabhupada spells it out for us. And this is in the preface to the Caitanya-caritamrta Adi Lila. He says the 8 principles of Sankhya Yoga, and here they are: observing the regulative principles, following the rules, practicing the various sitting postures, performing the breathing exercises, withdrawing one's senses from the sense objects, etc., are meant for those who are too much engrossed in the bodily conception of life. And that should sound familiar to us, because that's exactly the sort of thing that we've been going through with Lord Kapila Dev. He outlines the Bhakti Yoga process, both as it shows up in the Ashtanga Yoga system and in the straightforward system that we ourselves are trying to practice, simply directly taking to hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. So hopefully that tidily answers your question of the basic principles of Sankhya philosophy. Of course, there's a whole other element that goes along with it. Sankhya itself refers to counting the material elements, understanding the distinction between the self, the conscious self, and all those elements. Even though the elements may be very subtle, they're still not the soul proper. But that's also part of Sankhya philosophy. But I just thought I'd find some place where Prabhupada says, the principles of Sankhya philosophy are ... and then read that out loud. Hare Krishna.
In other words, what happens is those who are too much into empiric philosophy and counting all these elements and all that stuff, indirectly, Lord Kapil Dev gets them into Bhakti Yoga. That's a catch. Because the first thing is following the rules and regulations, then all the niyam, asana, all that. But eventually he wants to get you on Bhakti Yoga.
Yes, that's his strategy, isn't it? That's his
Yeah.
that's his preaching strategy.
Yes, yes.
And we see this is current also. So many devotees are
Right.
presenting to crowds of people that may be into yoga or what they think is they understand to be yoga. And then the devotees try to pull them along a little further.
Right. In a Bhakti center in Manhattan, they do the same thing. Hey, come on, let's do some asana, some Sankhya philosophy or asana and niyam and some exercise, whatever. They have all the mats and stuff. And then they introduce Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
That's a catch.
Yes.
And this catch is not new. Kapil Dev does the same thing for us.
Yes. I was thinking in the present day how much that catch, as you say, depends upon prasadam and kirtan.
That's right. That's right.
We don't hear that Kapila Dev was taking breaks to serve his mother samosas and sweet rice. It was a different time. People had attention spans that were vaster, much more vast than we have today. Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu.
Thank you.
Would you like to appoint our next reader? Is that
yes. Let's see. Is Gurudas Prabhu available? Gurudas Prabhu.
Let's see if he is. He messaged me that he was having some audio issues.
Oh, okay. Then we have, let's see. Radesh is there.
Yes. Radhesha Prabhu, we have text number 3, if you'd be so merciful as to read.
Your kindness. I sent Guru Maharaj to the Jayadvaita Maharaj to the airport this morning, and I got back to my house. I laid down on the bed and fell asleep. And then I got up and I saw, oh no, class has already started. But
Yeah,
we
have time difference. That's right.
Yeah, but I managed to catch you all here, and so yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Sa eva vishvasya bhavan vidhate gunapravahena vibhakta viryan sargadyani ho vitathabhi sandhir atmeshvaro tarkya sahasra shakti. One second. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature, and for that reason the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation takes place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them you created this material manifestation, and although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable for us. The statement made in this verse by Devahuti that the Absolute Truth has many diverse energies, although he personally has nothing to do, is confirmed in the Upanishads. There is no one greater than him or on an equal level with him, and everything is completely done by his energy, as if by nature. It is understood herein, therefore, that although the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, each of whom is particularly invested with different kinds of power, the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from such activities. Devahuti is saying, although you personally are not doing anything, your determination is absolute. There is no question of your fulfilling your will with the help of anyone else besides yourself. You are, in the end, the Supreme Soul and the Supreme Controller. Your will, therefore, cannot be checked by anyone else. The Supreme Lord can check others' plans, as it is said, man proposes and God disposes. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead proposes, that desire is under no one else's control. He is absolute. We are ultimately dependent on him to fulfill our desires, but we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. That is his inconceivable power. That which may be inconceivable for ordinary living entities is easily done by him. And in spite of his being unlimited, he has subjected himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures, like the Vedic literatures. As it is said, Shabda Mulatvat, he can be known through the Shabda Brahman, or Vedic literature. I guess the last paragraph is short. Why is the creation made? Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities, he created this material manifestation for those living entities who want to enjoy or lord it over material nature. As the Supreme Godhead, he arranges to fulfill their various desires. It is confirmed also in the Vedas, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. The Supreme One supplies the necessities of the many living entities. There is no limit to the demands of the different kinds of living entities, and the Supreme One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, alone maintains them and supplies them by his inconceivable energies. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This is these three different energies, these creation, maintenance, and destruction. It made me think of Shukadev Goswami's opening prayer. I think it's 296. No, anyway. Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase Sarud Bhavastana Nirodha Lilaya. And there it's stated Lilaya, that as your pastime, you're taking up these different functions. You're playing these roles. It's a sort of a material lila, you could say, manifesting these gunavatars, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And so the Supreme Personality of Godhead is taking on these functions, and he's making it possible for these vast, amazing acts to take place. And no one else can say that they're independent from the Lord. Even these greatest of demigods. We just did the Brahma Vimohan Lila play last Sunday here in Hawaii, and we're seeing that even someone so great as Lord Brahma, he's bewildered that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he who is so great, can be playing this role of a cowherd boy who's making silly jokes and eating off of a rock plate, and his friends are eating off of leaves, and they're playing around in the forest. And so Devahuti she's recognizing that, okay, you were a child in my abdomen, you're taking this form as my son, but you're so great. And it's you who are entrusting, let's see, not entrusting. Oh yeah, the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, each who is invested with different kinds of power. But ultimately, the all-powerful is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as the verse states, that your diverse energies are acting multifariously, this concept is inconceivable to us. We can multitask a little bit. We can do, maybe two things at once, maybe three things at once. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's doing everything at once. And at the same time as each of those functions is being performed with so much attention, he's directing all of his focus into each individual activity. And yet he's doing everything at once. The cowherd boys, they're sitting around Krishna, and each of them is focused just on him. They're not doing anything else, but each one is hoping that Krishna will look forward towards him. Or the gopis in the rasa dance, each one is experiencing that Krishna is dancing just with me. So this is inconceivable. If I'm listening to Bhagavatam class and then I'm on my phone doing something else, I'm doing neither perfectly. And therefore we have this practice of chanting japa, where this time is exclusively dedicated to Krishna. And you're chanting his holy name, and that holy name is also everything. So those are a few thoughts. I was listening to a couple of classes by His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu in the past couple of days, one on glorifying japa, and then another in which he quotes Swabhavaki Shakti, the Jnana Bala Kriyacha. These multifarious energies, the Supreme Lord has all Jnana Bala Kriya. His activities are wonderful. He has all strength, all knowledge. He's carrying out everything by his multifarious energies, and Vaisheshika Prabhu highlighted that term, multifarious. So I think I'll leave it there. Let's see. Some things in the, oh, that's just the verse. Yeah. If anybody has other thoughts.
Like you said, chanting the holy name of the Lord, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is given as a Yuga Dharma. And we just follow that, Nice.
So wonderful. Yeah, the holy name. The holy name alone is everything. It's so incredible that we have access to this. But yeah, Devahuti's she says, I'm just a common woman in your purport, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. But you see, what a common woman, what a high level of understanding she has. It's what is the common man's understanding or common woman's understanding? It's on such a basic platform, and here you can see that even for a common woman, her understanding is higher than that of Lord Brahma in one sense. In the Brahma Vimohan Leela, temporarily he doesn't have this understanding by the Lord's influence, for the pastime's sake. But still, even for a small child, one can have this most profound realization of the absolute truth through the simple process of the Yuga Dharma. So.
And I also like to highlight the thing you said. We have to exclusively give a time to chant this mantra, 16 rounds, exclusively, no matter what happens. And that will take us back into Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Radhesha Prabhu. There are a couple things that I thought of while I was hearing the purport. One is that there's a place here where Prabhupada says of Krishna, and in spite of his being unlimited, he has subjected himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures like the Vedic literature. That reminds me of a point that Sariputta Prabhu used to like to make at any opportunity, and that is that if you accept the Vedic literature or the Bhakti Yoga process or Krishna consciousness or whatever you want to call it, at least theoretically, at least that here's a whole framework of knowledge that's been handed down, so it is said, then what you're being handed is a worldview that says that there is a possibility that this entire universe was in fact the product of a vastly superior intelligence, rather than a chance combination of atomic particles, which is mathematically far-fetched anyway. But if you say that the universe does have a conscious source, then a scenario like Prabhupada is presenting here would also be very reasonable. He says he has subjected himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures. In other words, if you were God and you had all these living entities that were stranded out here in some material universe, wouldn't you want them to know something about how to get out of that universe? Wouldn't you want them to know about you and how to live, practically speaking? So he brings that up as just a reasonable argument for the validity of the Vedas and the path that we're on. Just for the sake of argument, just theoretically, that could possibly be valid. That was one thing. And the other thing I was thinking is when we are hearing these prayers of Devahuti or anyone's prayers in the Bhagavatam, this always strikes me as very, very significant, because they're like painting a portrait of the Supreme Lord's personality. They're being blessed with this understanding of Krishna by him. He's giving them the intelligence, like Narayan blessed Dhruva with the touch of his conch shell. Okay, now you can say something. To say this, they're realizing this knowledge. This is the meaning of vijnana, or knowledge that has a practical manifestation in your heart, Prabhupada said something similar, that each one of you, what is your realization? You write your realization, whether it's 2 lines or 4 lines. Prabhupada wrote a lot of lines, but everyone has some realization. And now we're hearing the realization of Devahuti. It's not like Kapila Dev said, all right, now you say something. But she was just moved to speak. And so that experience, it takes place when the devotee is just feeling moved to speak. Something is dawning on them in a very significant way, and they can't help themselves but speak some words of praise or wonder. What does she say about here? Inconceivable. It's inconceivable that you are all these things and you take birth from my womb. What can I say? But I'll keep on saying some things because Krishna's blessing her to be able to say those things. Hare Krishna.
Now I would like a Surbi Kunja Mataji, the last verse. I mean, we still have 15 minutes, so if you are available, Surbi Kunja. Text number 4.
Oh, she says, Hare Krishna, I'm not available.
Oh, okay. Let's see who else. Ananda Shesha?
He might be shy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Dana Mataji. Dana.
Would you mind posting the link where we're at? I just got home from driving and I'm
Oh,
not
okay. No
know
problem.
I can read if you just direct me where to go.
Sure, yeah. I can direct you, yes. Canto 3, chapter 33, last chapter, text 4.
While you're looking for it, I was thinking when Akendra Prabhu was speaking about these realizations of Devahuti speaking, I was thinking about the last chapter. We were getting this gradual elevation through the Sankhya counting, and they were saying Pratak Dvara. Maharaj highlighted that line, Pratak Dvara and Shastra Vartma Bihi, that people have these different ways of viewing Shastra, and Shastra is giving all these different paths. You have Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and through Jnana you come to the impersonal conclusion. And so after all of this counting and after all of these different various ways of viewing Shastra and the different paths presented, now we're arriving at these are the conclusions. We're hitting the cream of the cream. This is where we're describing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now the counting has come to an end. You've come to the last number. You've come to the ultimate truth. Sankhya has reached its limit, and now here's the conclusion, and it's so sweet.
Yes, nice. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry. Sajvam prato me chatarena nata katam nu yasyodara atad asit vishvam yukante vata patra ekaha shete matsma maya shishor angri panaha. Translation. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have taken birth from my abdomen. O my Lord, how is that possible for the Supreme One, who has in his belly all the cosmic manifestation? The answer is that it is possible, for at the end of the millennium you lie down on a leaf of a banyan tree, and just like a small baby you lick the toe of your lotus foot. Purport. At the time of dissolution, the Lord sometimes appears as a small baby lying on a leaf of a banyan tree, floating on the devastating water. Therefore, Devahuti suggests, your lying down within the abdomen of a common woman like me is not so astonishing. You can lie down on a leaf of a banyan tree and float on the water of devastation as a small baby. Therefore, it is not very wonderful that you can lie down in the abdomen of my body. You teach us that those who are very fond of children within this material world, and who therefore enter into marriage to enjoy family life with children, can also have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their child. And the most wonderful thing is that the Lord himself licks his toe. Since all the great sages and devotees apply all energy and all activities in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there must be some transcendental pleasure in the toes of the spire. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself wonders how much transcendental pleasure is within himself. In order to taste his own potency, he sometimes takes the position of tasting himself. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but he appears as a devotee to taste the sweetness of the transcendental mellow in himself, which is tasted by Srimati Radharani, the greatest of all devotees. Wow. That was such a interesting way of like relating the two and really giving that perspective of how much he really wants to understand what it's like to love him like Radharani and like his devotees. And it just shows like how amazing that is for the Supreme Personality to want to know that. I don't know. It's just making me really think about that. I would love to hear from those much wiser than me, though, on more about this.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much. So nice. Yes, Ekandra Prabhu, please go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to read a little bit of the end of the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, and you can see that Prabhupada very much drew heavily from this purport for his own. He says that the sweet pastime suitable for the baby is described. He sucks his big toe. All intelligent men will give up other happiness and become submerged in the sweetness of my feet. Thinking that he would like to experience that taste, the baby sucks his toe. Hare Krishna. What can you say?
Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came
There you go.
to taste the sweetness of Radharani. And what else can we ask, you know?
Yeah.
So in other words, we all have to be submissive and try to taste the holy name.
Yes.
That is our way.
It also reminds me of the pastime of, well, Radhesha Prabhu could probably speak eloquently to this point because you just had to play there. You said Brahma Vimohan Lila, right?
Yeah. What about it?
Well, just that Krishna is blowing Brahma's mind, you know, appearing not only as Vishnu forms dancing all over the place, but showing basically something like the universal form, all time and space, all directions, all of reality. And Brahma's got 4 heads and all of them are blown. And then Krishna finally just manifests himself. I'm just a kid. I'm standing here with, you know, I haven't even washed my hands. I've got, you know, food on my hand and I'm just standing here with my flute and here I am.
Yeah, he sees he sees the Lord's form everywhere, and he sees all living entities, like down to the smallest living entity. Everyone's worshiping him, and it's incredible. And then in his prayers, when my Guru Maharaj was here, he said that Srila Prabhupada said something along the lines of, you know, even if they learn how to roll up the sky like a blanket, they still won't understand the Lord. And I know, you know, we have our 4 most famous verses, Gyane Prayasa Matapite Deva Tatenu Kampam, and what's Shreyashtatim Bhaktim Udasyate. So those are the 4, you know, most famous ones. But right in between those, there's the verse that says, even if they learn how to count every atom in the world, or count the particles of light coming from the sun, still they'll never be able to count the qualities of the Lord. And that was just absolutely mind-blowing for me. You know, just the way he words it is just so wonderful. All these qualities, and all of these qualities are there in the Lord's lotus feet. We're reading in this purport how sweet it is. And then when you read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, I remembered Ekendra Prabhu, you reading his commentary to the last verse of the last chapter, in which Padavim, he took it to be attain the Lord's lotus feet. So that Palashruti of the last verse of the last chapter just made me think that now we're getting the context of what it is that you're going to obtain. and it's just beyond sweet. It's so sweet that the Lord himself is relishing and desirous of tasting it, and he's saying that this is what you're going to get if you read this chapter with faith, if you're studying these pastimes. So all of the devotees here have something wonderful to look forward to.
What a philosophy, huh?
Yeah, if I had more than one head, all of them would be blown as well. So
Hare Krishna. Time for kirtan. Prabhu, would you like to lead? Since you came late, that'll be your sentence.
My sentence. Ananda, are you going to join me for kirtan? All right, I have my wife assisting. Krishna, Krishna. I'm going to turn my camera off, though, because I don't have a place to put it, and I don't want you to have this angle of me. You lead, if you can. But just go ahead and start.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishraminda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai, online Zoom Sangha ki jai, all glorious Yasamu devotees, all glorious Yasamu devotees, all glorious Yasamu devotees, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Radhesha and Ananda Prabhus, for the kirtan. Thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, for all your reading. And thank you, everyone, for being here, for participating and hearing. I'm sure Maharaj would be very happy that we carried on in his absence yet again. And special thanks to Haridas Prabhu for being here tonight. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami and friends ki jai.
Indra Prabhu ki jai.
Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Gaur Premanande. Hari
Hari Hari.
Hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow or sooner. Hare Krishna.